please don't do it. Please consider not doing it. This is the hardest video I've had to make. Well, I don't have to make it. Well, I do have to make it. Obviously something's compelling me. I debated for a bit. I'll probably debate while editing it. I'll probably debate when uploading it. I'll probably debate even when it's out there, taking it off. And to you who's going through this, you know debating more than anybody. There's a huge debate, there's a huge struggle going on right now within you. And so the reason this is difficult for me to film is not because of what I'm worried will happen for those watching it. I think only good can come of it, because you have nothing to lose to consider. You know, we're all going to go eventually anyways, so you have nothing to lose just to hold on and just to think it through, because we only get one shot here. Let me see if I can get a better angle. So there's really nothing to lose, I think, for me to say, please, please, please. I don't want you to do it. I don't know you, but I know you. I don't want you to do it. And I'm sure there's other people that don't want you to do it. And if you're struggling with the thought at all, then there's some part of you that doesn't want to do it. If you're expressing it to anybody, if you're asking anybody, or if you're just going back and forth in your mind, then there's some part of you that doesn't want to do it. And so there's no harm in just holding off and just thinking it through, but more importantly, feeling it through. So the reason I'm having trouble, struggling, is because the only reason for me to make this is to help. I have no benefit except for maybe the courage just to let it all go and not worry about ramifications or what people will think or what will happen for me making this video. So there's a benefit there for me, but other than that, there's really no benefit for me. It's really just to help. And I think I can help, or at least comfort. At least comfort is what I would like to do. And so I'm taking a long time getting to the point, which shows how difficult it is. Because, you know, there's worries there. There's very few people that know me my whole life, or know me well, that know this. And so they're going to see this. I don't particularly, it's not something I want to share with them. You know, there's worries of what other ramifications. But I think we're all getting to a step where it's just time to start letting go of these silly worries and stories. So I'm just going to go for it. And it's, again, the purpose is just, I don't feel I need to release this. This is long past. But when I was in my teens, I tried to kill myself. And let me actually correct that. I don't know what the proper definition would be into this, but I actually did go through with it. So I was especially lucky. I do apologize, I'm going to have to keep switching because I don't know why. I'm turning into a weakling, but my arms are getting sore. I was from a large family and felt very much invisible. And through whatever, through media, through society, through life, through interactions with the family. I just felt invisible, and then somehow it just kept growing and building, and I couldn't even recall when it started. But this actual hate for myself, believe it or not, I love myself. I love life. I'm struggling with it like everybody is, but I love it. Yeah, I feel privileged, and have for a long time. But when I was growing up as a kid and all the way up into my teens, I hated myself. Now I look back and I don't even get it. It's hard for me even to relate to it now. It seems like another person almost. But yeah, I absolutely hated myself. And I would just look in the mirror and just hate, and I would just go in these dialogues of start creating these stories. I'd actually look in the mirror and say, you're this and you're that. And I can tell you right now how I feel. I mean, that's all I can do is tell you how I feel and let you know you're not alone, and this is what I went through, and I wouldn't want you to do it. But it's you. I mean, it's all you. I can't tell you what to do. But I can tell you, and hopefully you'll relate, and realize you're not alone, and realize it's okay, and there's nothing wrong with you. But I had this dialogue that I had built up, and I'm sure it came from a lot of different places. It's so long ago now in my realm of my life that I couldn't even tell you really, and it's really not important at this point. But yeah, it's crazy. I would look in the mirror and just go through dialogues, and you're this and you're that, and no one loves you, and what's the point? And there could be, I'm sure anybody in that situation, there's common ground all over the place, and then there's probably unique parts of it too that might be different, but at the core it's the same. It's and it can be a lot of things. For me, it was this self-loathing I had built up. Fear, I think, is huge for humans, period. And I think fear is a big one. Fear of the future. I think it's just so many things. But what I can tell you is that I actually did go through with it in the form of pills. And I planned it, and I executed it to the best of my ability, but something didn't allow it. Something in me, something in the universe, same difference, whatever it is, something did not allow it. I should have. I ended up, nobody knew. Nobody knew. Only a few siblings were around for that weekend, and they have no idea even to this day. They just have a vague memory of, in their story, of Mike was up in his room and just wouldn't come out and help with the chores. He was acting weird. But what they didn't know is I was actually lying in bed, covered in vomit. Vomit that was a mixture of pills. A lot of pills. A ridiculous amount of pills. And I can't believe I'm saying this. See how much I want to help? See how much I feel? I do feel connected to all of you. If I can help in any way. Anyways, yeah, I'll just go for it. So, yeah, lying there for all weekend, basically, just completely weak. And really extremely poisoned. And even I remember Monday, once I was able to walk again, and then I went to school, and I went up to these friends, and the first thing they said was, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" Because they could just see how pale I was. That's how close to the brink I was. You know, my body was at the brink. And so, to try to speed this up, it didn't happen overnight, but something did trigger in me. Well, something did happen overnight, but I wouldn't say it was just like, then after that I was like, everything was okay. But it did make me pause, I guess. It did make me go, wait, I should have went. And so, it wasn't too long after that. I think it took a few years, but to get back kind of into that place again. That same feeling of considering it again. And then remembering that I had been given, really. Whether I gave it to myself, I don't know. But something had pulled me back. And really, it should have worked. And so, then when that in combination with things coming to a head and starting to feel exactly how I had felt my whole life again, and feeling alone and feeling confused, and what was the point of anything, and you know, it didn't seem like anyone was ever going to love me or accept me, and all these things we build up. But it was all the same familiar stuff to the point I was in that really bad place again. And then so between knowing that I had been given a pass, really, and then experiencing it, that really hitting rock bottom. I mean, I do feel for you. I mean, if nobody's ever truly considered that, they don't know, but I can tell you I know what you're feeling. It's just, you're at the bottom, you're just so deep in despair. I feel for you. So, I think it was that feeling it again, years later, and something in me didn't want to feel it again. And that, and whatever I had learned, or whatever deep down I had processed, the second chance, I didn't consider it for long. And something burst out of me and said, no. And so it started with a choice, and the choice was like a challenge to myself, because I was back into the hating myself, and I was basically now looking in the mirror and saying, you're going to love yourself. You are going to love yourself. And at first it was more in the brain, and it was, of course you feel silly kind of, and yes, you can just say it, but it's a good practice to get into, because if you have the real intention, and that's what was fueling it, was a real intention, something had turned in me that said, no, I want to live, I want to live. Life is worth living. This is a gift. A painful gift, yes, but a gift. And so, that was the fuel. So at first it was just kind of practice, almost robotic, almost, forced. I didn't necessarily, basically I was saying it when really I wasn't feeling it at all. And that's how it'll start, if you do try it. But if you really mean it, meaning you really want to experience something different, if you really want to try something else, if you really want to give living a shot, if that's your true intention, then over time, as it was with me, I really did start to love myself. And I would have slips. And they would be short-lived, and eventually it just faded away. And now I can tell you, you know, well over a decade, well, 15, I think, 15, 16, 17, I'm not sure. A long time ago, years later, you know, that's not even an option for me. So, I guess what I really want, I'm just kind of rambling here, but I just wanted to let you know if you're considering it, or if you're feeling that, whatever your situation, please don't do it. I hope you choose to live. And it's not going to be easy, you know, it's not going to be easy, it's, you know, life isn't easy. But I'm glad I did, because there's so much I would have missed. There's so many wonderful things that I've experienced. So many great moments. Troubles as well. Wonderful, wonderful things, wonderful people, wonderful experiences that I would have never had. And for me, I can tell you it's worth it. It was worth it. Again, ultimately you have to decide, but at the very least, just hold off. At the very least, just, you know, what's the rush? Just, you know, start with just quieting your mind if you can. The mind is a big part of it, because we get going and you're telling yourself a story and you're beating that drum. So meditation couldn't hurt, or just being quiet, being present, and really trying to clear all thoughts, and get in the habit of doing that more and more, and get in nature, and do things that you still feel love or passion for, and just give it some time, and basically try to build that feeling. Because a lot of this is creations in our mind that we created. And I can say that because when I look back now, I don't even know why, honestly. I felt the way I felt. I don't know why I felt like my life was so terrible, because I've actually had a really blessed life, and I actually have a wonderful family and wonderful parents. I know not everybody's in that situation. Some people have, you know, real reason to feel sorry for. So I'm not saying whatever it is, it's not real. I'm not saying that. What I'm just saying, though, is I know I'm the perfect example, because I really had nothing to really now in my mind. And that just shows you the power of the story. If someone like me, who was so blessed, can create a story that will take you to that brink, then, you know, it just goes to show you that, you know, how powerful. So you may be in a position where you've experienced some things that are just unbelievable, and I feel for you, and that I can't relate to. But again, we can make it so much worse, or we can, you know, it's like a wound and we're digging in our own wound. And so we all do that. So whatever you've gone through, I don't make light of it. But I know we do. So if you can try to clear your thoughts first, try to get in the practice of that. Don't be in a rush for anything. Don't be in a rush for answers. Just give it some time. You've really got nothing to lose. Just give it some time. And try to get in a peaceful place if you can. If you need to express it, then find someone you trust that you know can handle it, and talk to them. So So those are just some things you can do, you know, or just write it down, you know, write it. So if you need to, if you don't feel you have anybody to talk to, expressing in one way or another just to get it out. I'm not suggesting to go blurting it out to people. It's very private, and you probably need to keep it private at this point, because it's a very personal, private thing. It's not something to be shared with everybody. So definitely, you know, I would say, you know, choose how you express it carefully. In private to someone you trust, or to yourself, and start there, just to get it out, and then just try to quiet the mind after that, and get in the practice of quieting the mind, and get out in nature and just try to do some things that you know make you happy. Just go back and think back of when you felt differently than you do now, and go do things, go do those things or similar things or anything that you think will create that same feeling, and just do that. And don't make any other decisions except just to do that, and see how you feel. When we're in a bad place, you know, just we're not in a good place to make these decisions. So try a different place, and then pose the question. And again, my personal law, please don't do it. But that's just mine. I can't tell you what to do, but again, I know how much I would have missed. I think I've helped a lot of people in my life that I wouldn't have been able to. Experience so many things. Life really is a gift. It's a ride. And for some, it's really a ride. Some more than others, they really go through some stuff. And you may be one of those people. But I have faith in you. You are powerful. You are wonderful. There is something in there, and you know what I speak. You are not misery. You are not all these things. You're something more. You are. I know, because I used to believe I wasn't. I really believed the story I was telling myself, that I was worthless. I'm not worthless at all. I think I'm awesome. I'm not perfect. But I like myself. Yeah, I'm good. I'm a good boy. So I hope this was helpful. It was tough for me to say, to broadcast to the world, just in hopes it might help people. The majority of people in my life do not know this, so having it be open, basically, it's an open book now, and Kitty's trying to get in. So it's a tough video to make, tough video to post, but I want to help. I really, if I can, at least let you know that you're not alone. It's okay. It's understandable what you're going through, but there's other realities that you can get to. I know there's lots of people. I'm proof of it. I'm proof of it. You know, my life isn't perfect. I'm not saying anything like that. I still struggle, you know, with this reality. We all do. That's the nature of the game. But I've experienced something completely different. A self-love, a love for the world, a love for everything that I didn't know existed. But it did. It was there the whole time. And so I invite you to explore that. Put the other one away for a while. And why don't you give this a shot? See if you can see the wonder in yourself. See if you can see the wonder in the world. See if you can feel it. quiet your mind, and see what happens. What do you have to lose? Like I said, we're all on borrowed time anyways. So why get off the ride early? Without at least seriously experiencing something different, a different flavor than what you've been experiencing. Try it out. And so, to you, I just want to say, I love you. I love you. Now go be happy. Go do something. Go do something to create that feeling. Go discover the real you. Because you're wonderful. You're amazing. You're amazing.